Steel Ball Run just dropped on Netflix, and I've been waiting to say this for a long time. David Production has never, not once, bubbled a JoJo adaptation. In Steel Ball Run, this was always going to be perfect. But before we get into why, there's a question hanging over this whole thing that nobody has an answer to yet, as I'm recording this video. And depending on how it gets answered, it could change everything. Weekly episodes or batch release. But we'll get to that. First, let's talk about why this adaptation is in the safest hands possible. Usually when an anime adaptation gets announced, the first thing fans ask is who's making it, and for JoJo, that answer's been the same since 2012. David Production. Every single arc, no exceptions. But here's what makes Steel Ball Run different, that it isn't just the same studio, but the exact same people. We're getting the return of both Yasuhiro Kimura and Hideya Takahashi, who were both the directors for considered one of the best directed arcs in the anime, Golden Wind. Yugo Kanno is also making a return, and even if you casually watch anime, I'm sure you've heard this. Yeah, we're gonna be in good hands. Other franchises recast, they switch studios, and they hand beloved IPs to teams that don't understand what made the source material special, and JoJo really never had that problem. And with Steel Ball Run, a story that many fans consider the greatest manga ever written, the consistency matters more than ever. Okay, so why is Part 7 such a big deal? Well, many JoJo veterans consider this to be Araki's magnum opus, and I'll give you a quick version of why this adaptation was so anticipated, and a semi-spoiler warning for the episode, but not for the manga. Steel Ball Run is a soft reboot of the series set in 19th century America with a $50 million prize pool from San Diego to New York. To convert this into 2026 Freedom Bucks, that's about $1.8 billion. Holy shit. And the story gets even crazier from there. Without saying too much, it shifted from shonen to seinen midway through. These are your shows like Vinland Saga, Berserk, and Death Note. It's grittier, darker, more emotional, and the art style is absolutely detailed. Like when you have source material this strong, it sets the stage for the perfect adaptation. And you just have to not mess it up. The first stage premiere is 47 minutes. That alone tells you that David Production understands the weight of this adaptation. They're not treating it just like another arc, they're treating it like an event. And Steel Ball Run was never going to work with a rushed throwaway introduction anyway. The story needed time to establish its world, its tone, and especially the dynamic that's going to carry the entire thing. So right out the gate, this already feels more deliberate than, here's another seasonal anime premiere. And from everything we see in the trailers, the animation, the color work, and the way they render the race, this is shaping up to be exactly what Steel Ball Run deserves. Okay, now we need to actually talk about the thing that actually keeps me up at night about this. Netflix. And how they choose to handle this. Because we've been here before and it didn't go great. Stone Ocean. I already made a video about this previously on Stone Ocean and I got booed for it by some people, but that's besides the point. Even with retrospect, Stone Ocean's third batch has some of the most highly rated episodes of the entire series, but the problem is, there was just nobody talking about it. Yeah. The community wasn't able to build weekly discussions and momentum, and like how you would see almost daily with every new episode of Jujutsu Kaisen and Frieren, almost every tweet you would see is praising the animation or some running gag of the week. Steel Ball Run has a fanbase that is ready to go absolutely insane for this every single week. The Reddit threads, the YouTube essays, the fan art, all of that lives and breathes when weekly drops. And batch releases collapse that energy into a weekend and then it's gone. And now to be fair, we don't actually know what Netflix is doing here yet. The first stage framing of this premiere has people speculating it could be a prologue structure with the main run coming later. And that might mean weekly, it might mean another batch, but we genuinely don't know. If Netflix has learned any lesson from the backlash to Stone Ocean, they'll follow suit with other anime on their platform like Jujutsu Kaisen and Frieren and release Steel Ball Run weekly. And it deserves that. It's too good and the fandom is too passionate to be handled any other way. So here's where I land on this. Steel Ball Run is the perfect anime adaptation, and not just because the source material is incredible, because it is, but because the team making it has spent over a decade proving they understand JoJo better than anyone else. David Production didn't just get the job, they earned it. Arc by arc, year by year. The 47-minute premiere is the proof of concept, and now Netflix just needs to let it breathe. So what would you want to see for Steel Ball Run? And if you already read the manga, what moment are you most excited to see animated? Let me know in the comments, and please don't put the spoiler in the title though. I read every single one, so please let everyone know.